their back pocket and just took it out and gave it to the Kings. So you learn from your mistakes, hopefully. Let's see what the Lakers can do.
And Stu, the Lakers start tonight 21-19, third in the division, 5.5 back of Phoenix. The Clippers won here this afternoon, so a game and a half behind them. Here's Mike James starting the Raptors in their visiting red uniforms. Here's Chris Bosh, and he can hit from there with regularity. He's got the whole game. Bonner, three, going to be short rebound taken by Lamar Odom.
And that is Bonner's game right there. Just sit around, get your spot on the floor, and wait for someone to give it to you. He normally knocks down a high percentage.
In fact, the other night in their win at Seattle, they shot 22 threes, made 11. Bonner is not shy. Odom going one-on-one with Bosh. They are very similar, rather, with Jalen Rose out on top, smushes three, no good, and Bosh up the ladder. He almost averages 10 rebounds a game.
Again, now, if they're going to play Jalen Rose on Lamar Odom, I mean, you run your offense, but you end up with Lamar on the box so that he can take advantage of it.
James, started by Smush, now to Jalen Rose. Rose goes around the pick by Bonner, looks down low, bad pass taken by Parker. And he'll take it to the end, and Smush slams it home. 2-0.
Well, Smush with a steal and an easy deuce, and he's one of the leaders in that department as far as stealing is concerned.
And of course, Smush has found a home here in Los Angeles and one of the better on-ball defenders. You know, this is the halfway point of the season, and we'll talk about where the Lakers are right now. You know, remember at the beginning of the year, Stu, they said check back with us in January or February, and we'll know what kind of a basketball team we have.
And you know, it's a good point to make right now too, because we are at that January, February mark. And they can really pretty much tell in some degrees, but there are others that they have to still question their ability to close out games that they haven't been able to do on a consistent basis.
Mo Peterson out of Michigan State, his 6th year, and he's another three-point threat that the Raptors have, and it's 2-2. Parker, down the middle he goes. Good pass to Brown, put it up and miss, but Kwame going to the hole strong, and that's what he has to do.
And nice job by Smush Parker breaking the defense down off the dribble. That always gets the bigs happy, and Kwame had his hands ready, and Smush says, here, wait till your man comes to me, and then you attack. And now all of a sudden, it's Kwame shooting two.
Misses his first free throw. Not a surprise. He's a 50%er on the year. And, you know, speaking of the halfway mark, I don't know if we still don't know what we've got with Kwame Brown here in Los Angeles. Some days he'll dazzle, and other days he'll disappear.
Well, again, consistency is the mark by which all coaches like to measure their team and their players. And when you can just rely on players to do certain things, it makes it a lot easier.
Peterson forced by Kobe to pass to James. Now to the post and Bosh. Guarded by Mim. He's isolated near side, goes to the one-bounce dribble, kicks it outside to James. He's beyond the arc. He hesitates. Says, I'll take that, and that's nothing but net from three.
And, you know, and he had a stretch earlier this season, he being James, where he had, I think, 3 consecutive 30-point games.
Kobe reverse layup to score. So at the other end, Kobe answers right back.
Well, I can see you allowing one of your other players to get that kind of penetration, but nobody seemed to come over and want to help when Kobe, leading scorer in the league, and you leave him out there by himself.
You see what you get with the Raptors, Stu. Another three as Peterson knocks it down. He's over 40% on the year from beyond the arc. 8-5 Raptors, and we got a whistle.
Well, Kobe's last basket just very, very easy. I mean, just goes right around Peterson. And, you know, when he gets around the basket, he's so creative. That's just nothing for him. That's a routine layup for Kobe Bryant.
Foul on Bonner. Lakers ball inbounds. They're down 8-5. We're just getting going. Joe McDonald here in for Joel. 2 minutes alongside him. Kobe, another tough shot, and he's got 4.
This turn looks like it's going to turn out to be somewhat of a shootout, but if the Lakers are smart, they won't want to get into that kind of a pace. Just go ahead and play, get your defense in order. Your offense should take care of itself.
Interesting, the first time these two teams met, Kobe had a season-low 11 points. Here's Bonner from the corner, and he knocks it down, so a high percentage early for the Raptors.
Driving and kicking, that's what they're doing. You mentioned a high percentage to both teams. The Lakers at 75%, and the Raptors at 80%.
You know, lost in that late game as Kobe shoots and misses. Lost in the mismanagement of game time were the two great games by Lamar, making shots late in the contest against Miami and then against Sacramento as Lamar had the ball a moment ago. Now here's Bob's baseline cutoff to Bonner, in trouble. 3 seconds. We got 3 seconds on Bosch away from the basketball.
You know, he got pushed out of bounds, but he was still within the lane area. And even though you're out of bounds, you got to get out of that lane. That lane just keeps going, and he just camped out there and got caught.
Kobe. Over to Smith Parker, averages 11 points a game. Underneath, away from his man, misses layup, think it's bumped out of bounds hard, and a foul going to be called on Toronto.
I like the bounce back by Smush. What I mean by the bounce back, he missed the shot, but as soon as his feet hit the ground, he bounced right back up to get his own miss, and then got fouled in the process.
Smush, obviously one of the great stories of the year. Bonner is going to be replaced by Charlie Villanueva. CV, as they call him, out of UConn. He wears number 31. Pick number 7 overall that was ridiculed, but he's turned out to be pretty good. Oh, look at Smush all the way around the defense to score.
Well, he ran that pick and roll to perfection. They didn't commit on the screen, so he just kept turning the corner and gets the layup.
How about turnabout fair play? Lakers have been burned enough by pick and roll. Why not? Turn it on somebody else. Jalen, now to the corner. James, deep corner, and drives it home.
Well, he's made 2 for 2 from that distance now. I would think the Lakers better stay at home with him and not let him think that he's going to have a big night.
Raptors made 5 in a row. They're up 13-9 early going. Smush been active here in the first 5 minutes. Kobe drives the lane, big step, throws it up, miss, rebound, Mim keeps it alive. Bosch has a chance for the break. Toronto loves to run in transition. Great pass, Rose under to Villanueva, can't score. Lamar was there to force the shot.
Nice job by Lamar. Got his hand on the ball and without committing the foul.
At the other end, shot missed by Parker. And this could be an up-tempo game, Stu, because Toronto does like to get out and score the basketball. Villanueva, physical move, bump, turn, little jump hook to score.
The bump is what creates the space. All players have to learn how to create space on the box, especially. You get that contact, the defender falls back a little bit, you've got the space you need.
I don't think a lot of the crowd here understands that Toronto, pretty good basketball team. They started 0-9, 1-15, but have really turned things around. Mim high post, looked to Kobe, couldn't get it to him. Pretty good defense by Rose. Shot clock to 1. Kobe to beat the buzzer, not going to get there. Kept alive by Mim. Bosch saves it. Midcourt goes right to Rose.
That's good hustle by Bosch. Very nice.
Oh, great pass in the cut, and Villanueva slams it home, but another wonderful feed by Jalen Rose.
Well, again, the Lakers don't want to get caught up in any kind of ragtag game. Right now, the Raptors are doing a good job of changing their defense. They're back into the zone.
Lamar misses. Mim with the foul to score. And Stu, that's a good point because Toronto plays as much zone as anybody in the league.
Well, you know, I don't mind seeing a lot of zone, especially when you change up. You have players that like a Kobe Bryant where he gets going and you have to show him different looks.
Bosch. That is smooth. He is long, he is athletic, and Bosch scores again. As I mentioned, if he's not an all-star this year, and there's so many good players around, of course, he will be soon.
Yeah, and you remember when the Lakers were shooting 75%? Well, that's gone.
Not anymore. Rebound offensively. Kwame Brown's right there. All he had to do was turn, go to the basket. Now he does a little late, and it's blocked. Kwame looking at the official barking, didn't get the call, and it's back out to Smush.
Well, if you don't get the call, you just have to continue to play.
Mim tries to go strong, knocked from behind, and here comes Villanueva 3-on-2. Kobe misses the steal. CV all the way to score. Oh, and the Lakers are struggling early. 6 for Villanueva off the bench.
Yeah, and Phil Jackson wants a timeout, and it's well-deserved. He needs the timeout. The Lakers coming out of the gate flat as a pancake, and this is what you did not want to happen here on your home court. The Toronto Raptors in the last 3 minutes gone on an 11-2 run to open up a 10-point advantage. So if the Lakers were anywhere worried about what they had to do to win, well, they know exactly what they do have to do now to get back in the game.
Bill McDonald, Stu Lance, and our great crew back here at Staples Center. 21-11, Raptors over the Lakers. And the turnaround for Sam Mitchell and his team, and they've just bought into what Sam wants to do, and there was no finger pointing when the team started 1-15.
Well, and since then, as you see there, they're 13-11, but tonight the Lakers are making them look like they're 13-0. I mean, they're an improved team. They're not as good as the Lakers have them looking right now, shooting 82% from the field, but the Lakers just have to decide if they want to compete. You don't want to wait too long to make that decision because then the game can be somewhat out of reach.
And there is Charlie Villanueva, as mentioned. A lot of scrutiny after pick number 7. A lot of people thought it was a wasted pick. He has played very well at times and getting a little more consistent. Some of the rookies, of course, at this point hitting the wall halfway through the season as Kobe knocks it down unguarded from the outside. Well, Kobe Bryant has got 6.
There's that zone again, but it's really a very weak zone. If the Lakers are patient, they're going to get any shot they want. They just have to decide to play on the defensive end and stop the Raptors from scoring every trip down.
And they'll also be able to get some offensive rebounds. Long lead, good outlet by Lamar. Is it there? No, a little bit too far, and Kobe can only save to red shirts. Nobody else came down. The pass by Lamar, then nobody helped. Here's Villanueva left open again from 18, and he's got 8 points in the first quarter.
8 points in 4 minutes of action because he didn't start the game. So again, the turnover by the Lakers, and the Lakers were made to pay for it.
In the middle of the zone, here's Brown. He turns in the lane, put it up and missed. Kwame volleyball, unfortunate, right back to him, slam dunk. Kwame Brown on the second effort.
Yeah, I think Kobe slapped the ball out of the hand from the blind side, and it went right to Kwame.
Who was limited to 8 minutes, didn't see action until the second quarter in Phoenix. Bosh rattled around, rebound taken by Kobe. Bryant had one of his worst shooting nights of the season the other night. In fact, his worst shooting night in a month. Here's Kobe, sweet move, uses glass and scores.
See that defense there? I mean, see how easily Kobe did what he wanted to do there? That's why this team, if you're going to rely on offense to win games for you all the time, you're going to be on the bottom half of the pack.
And Toronto, one of the teams in the NBA averaging, giving up over 100 points. Rose from the outside, going to be long. Bosh on the weak side had it, dropped it, knocked out of bounds, and Toronto will have it underneath their basket.
Not a good job by the Lakers that time of securing the defensive rebound. They were there. Nobody jumped except Chris Bosh.
James, who's been bothered by a bad back, forced him to miss a few games this year. Bosh, good fake to get open. Around Smush and scores.
Just too easy. I hate to keep harping on it, but you know, if you want to be a good basketball team, you really have to shore up your defense.
Chris Bosh, 13th, Stu, in scoring in the NBA. There's a shot that Chris Mims been working on quite a bit. You know, it's not just Andrew Bynum that Kareem is working with. Chris Mims, one of the bigs also.
Yeah, and you know, Kareem, if they're smart, they'll really absorb everything that Kareem has to offer to them, because he has so much to give them.
Lakers down by 6, just under 3 minutes to play first quarter. Smush the cans, knocks it away as they try to get it to Jalen Rose.
Well, that was a better job of defense that time. You see how Lamar and Smush really were hounding their respective men? That's what they have to do each minute that they're on the court. 2:50 to go here in the first quarter, and the Lakers down by 6-point margin.
Stu and I are firmly entrenched in Chick's Nest here at Staples Center. And as always, we need a celebrity check when we have Laker basketball. That's old rocker Joe Walsh. Played with the Eagles for a while. He's enjoying a little basketball. Oh, Andy Dick getting it done. And he's not rooting on his Knicks because they ain't in town. But there's Chris Rock courtside, as he is quite often. Joel's not here. Gonna back along with Stu. Glad you're with us. We'll be back on Friday night when Golden State's in town, and if you want to come here, get your tickets, enjoy Laker basketball. James goes uncontested. Villanueva's there to score.
Well, good job by Chris Mims of coming over and being that last line of defense, but nobody filled in. That left Villanueva open for the shot.
An absolute career game right now for Villanueva. Good entry by Lamar. Mims scores and the foul.
I hate to keep harping on this, but do you see how easy that was to get the ball inside? I mean, Lamar just threw it over the top. Their defense is not something that you want to try to do very much of as far as that kind of pressure.
Stu, explain it to me then. As I said, they play more zone than probably anybody in the NBA, but it's a soft zone. It's not very good. Why does Sam keep going back to it?
But normally when you're playing a lot of zone, your coach doesn't have a whole lot of confidence in your man defense. Somebody is hurting you, and it gets you in a lot of trouble.
Kobe draws contact, no foul, got it again, fall away, tough shot, not going to get there. A couple of Raptors had it, fumbled it. Bryant Cook in the game now for the Lakers, and he controls. Lakers have Mim, Odom, Bryant, Parker, and Cook. Lamar, one-on-one, goes to the left around Villanueva, scoop to Mim, who wasn't waiting, turnover, and here come the Raptors, 4-on-2. James all the way, lay it up and in.
Mike James off to a pretty nice start. He's got 8 points, but more importantly, he has 6 assists.
James acquired before the year began from Houston. James made a name for himself a little bit in Milwaukee, then down in Houston. He's one of those guys that everybody wants, but nobody keeps. Kobe easily knifes through and scores. He's got 10 already.
10 points in 10 minutes on 10 shots. So 10's the number for Kobe at this point.
Minute and a half to play. First quarter, 29-23. Rattled it home. That's another 3 for the Raptors. They're just going to try to outrace you, outscore you.
I guess that's their theory. Just just run up and down and hope that their offense is more potent on that night than yours.
Defensively challenged, to say the least. Here's the tall Texan Mim. Now to the corner of the key, Bryant working on Peterson, who normally draws the assignment of the opposition's best player. He chased Ray Allen around Seattle the other night. Ray was back after a 3-game hiatus, and he scored 24 in that game. Second personal foul, 5th team foul now, so Kobe Bryant will go to the line.
Well, the Lakers have only been to the line, 3 times in this ball game. Kwame shot 2 and Chris Mims shot 1, so Kobe making his first appearance there.
57 straight. Make it 58. Well, he rattled a couple around, though, late in the game the other night.
They count, though.
Don't they, though?
And that's the way you break a record. You just don't barely break it. You shatter it. His previous record was 43. He's up to 58. 59 now.
59 for Kobe Bryant in succession. Jose Calderon is in at the point guard now for the Raptors. Here's Villanueva. Calderon is out of Spain. Played 6 years of pro ball, started at the age of 17 to Bosch. He's one-on-one with Mim. This is where he operates so well. Look at that spin move. Chris got his hand in there and knocked it out of bounds.
And normally that's a play where Chris Mim is whistled for the foul. Nice drop step by Bosch, but he just exposes the ball a little too soon, and Mim with the quick hands gets a piece.
6 on the shot clock. Bosch, quick first step, goes around. Mim blows the layup. Taken by Cook. Here comes Kobe.
And Chris Bosch is yelling at the official.
Smush, alone, sets, fires. Doesn't get the bounce, but a slam home by Mim on the follow. Chris Mims got 8, so a productive first quarter for the big fella.
8 points for Chris and no fouls. You know what? The Lakers haven't decided to play defense yet. Nobody has a foul. That's why they're behind.
He might have made a deal with the refs. Here's, with the offhand, Jalen Rose. You know, they skew to the left side with Peterson, Jalen Rose, and Chris Bosch.
Got a little balance. Get a better balance there, so he came back to his right hand.
Shot clock is about 3 ahead of the game clock. 34-27, high-scoring first quarter from Staples Center. Smush Parker now with 9 on the clock to Cook. Down low, tried to get it to Mim, knocked away. Here comes Calderon. He's fearless going to the basket. Shows it there, blocked by Odom, but a foul on Lamar, and Calderon will go to the line and shoot 2.
Well, the first foul of the quarter on the Lakers, and Lamar gets that one in transition, preventing the easy hoop by Calderon there. But the turnover again, that's what got them out in the transition. The Lakers now with 4 turnovers and 5.2 seconds to go in the quarter, already trailing by 7.
You know, it's interesting. I talked to Frank Hamlin right before the game, and I said, Frank, what's the most important thing you're telling the team? He said, defend without fouling. Well, they certainly did that, but they didn't defend very well in the first quarter.
They got some of what he wanted down.
They didn't
no
get the
fouling.
Story.
They didn't get the defend part. He said defend without fouling.
They just get the whole deal, fellas. Here's Devin George coming in for the last 5-2, and Chris Mim will go to the bench. Calderon. Boy, he's a solid backup player, too. Had a double-double in a win last week against the Knicks when the Raptors put up a franchise-high 129. Kobe with 2, with 1. Draws the foul. Oh, he got bailed out there. Silly play by the Raptors, and was it behind the line? If so, no. Inside the line, Kobe will shoot 2 with a second left in the quarter.
Well, he went fishing. They took all the bait. I tell you, head fake, don't bite on that one. 2 guys bit on it, and they fouled the leading scorer in the NBA and send him back to the charity stripe where he's made 2 for 2.
And Kobe's streak continues. He leads the NBA 34.8. Iverson just over 33, and LeBron James in third. And how about LeBron yesterday? 5,000 points already in the NBA, Stu. Quickest to that mark in NBA history. Kobe was the previous youngest.
Yeah, he got 5,000 in his career. It seemed like he had 5,000 last night. Only 51.
Only 51. Calderon, that's not going to count even if it goes. And we're through one, and it's 36-29.
Well, an offensive quarter for both teams, but you can't win if you're the Lakers if you're going to give up 36 points to anybody. And especially the Toronto Raptors, who all they want to do is shoot on one end anyhow. Kobe Bryant, well, he's been shooting it a lot. Now it's time to defend.
Defense. Villanueva, there's a reason why James was Eastern Conference Player of the Week first week in January. He's got some talent.
And the Raptors come out in that zone. And let's see what the Lakers do about finding a shot.
And they make some changes, do the Lakers. Walton, Sasha, Devin George, Kwame Brown, and Lamar Odom start the second quarter for Phil Jackson. Here's Lamar double-teamed. Who's open? It's Sasha. Three-pointer. Guns it underneath to Devin George. Alone. Little hook. Drew nothing but air. Got it back to beat the clock. It's not going to count. Didn't get it away.
Their zone may be a little soft, but they did challenge on the inside against Devin George and made him shoot the air ball, which led to the violation.
Stu, don't you think it's about time for Devin George to step up? I mean, he's been around the league long enough. I mean, contribute more than he is on the offensive end of things.
Well, I think there are games when obviously he needs to do a little bit more, but you know, by and large, there have been games this year where Devin hasn't been seeing consistent time. Maybe that's some of the reason why he hasn't, and the coaching staff feels that, like you, he needs to step up and get it done more often.
Well, I say it because he's 100% now, and he's got the experience, obviously, been part of championship teams. How about going away with the other end, and then Sasha trying to bank one, from the baseline. Not really, but here's Calderon.
That's called a brick. He missed it so badly from the deep corner that it hit the backboard.
Calderon, he will penetrate to dish, and the Raptors have been doing that with James. There he goes, and he dishes back out. Tried to get it to Villanueva. Did he throw it out, or was it tipped? It was tipped. There's Devin pleading his case. Sam Mitchell also joining in the fun. And I still don't think they've decided. Yeah, the Raptors will get the ball with 6 on the shot clock.
Well, let's see if the Lakers can really force the issue here and make them take a difficult attempt.
Calderon goes around Sasha all the way, blocked by Kwame. Good play by Kwame on the help defense.
I don't know why Calderon was showing Kwame the ball so soon. You have to jump into Kwame's body. Calderon, not a high fly act.
Here's a foul. Brown. Oh, it's on Pop So on holding Kwame. How about Pop So coming back?
And how about Kwame with the block?
Yeah.
I mean, just easiest block he'll have in this game, maybe in this week.
Walton now into to Sasha. Back to Walton, who is fighting a shooting slump himself. Brown on his wallet in the key. Now out to Odom with 8 on the shot clock, and we've got another whistle. And a 3-second violation. Turnover, Lakers.
Well, Kwame was in the middle. He fell down, and after he got up, he really never did clear the 3-second lane, and the count continues until you have both feet out of the paint. So, turnover, give it back to the Raptors. 6
Laker turnovers in just a minute or so into the quarter. 3 for Toronto. They really take care of the basketball well. In fact, they started this West Coast trip 4th fewest turnovers in the NBA. And here's a hold on Sasha, holding Rose away from the ball. Here's Pop. Straight from the MBDL. Cal State Fullerton was with the Arkansas Rim Rattlers. I know you're very in tune with how they've been doing.
Yeah.
He'll give you some defense, not a whole lot on the offensive end. Shot missed. Sasha has a chance for the break. Here he comes.
The Lakers team is just flat tonight. I mean, from the very outset, they've been very flat.
Taking Toronto for granted, perhaps?
I don't think that's the case. I really don't. I don't think the Lakers are at a point
that they
can take anybody for granted. So they've got to come out every night with the attitude that they're going to have to play at a very high level for 48 minutes to get a win.
Vujacic not there. Walton up, couldn't get it. Here comes Calderon, 3-on-2. Rose sets, fires with the left hand, not going to get there unless he gets the fortunate bounce. Didn't. Kwame goes up the ladder to get it now to Lamar Odom. Odom across the timeline. Boy, that quick step, large dribble. Rebound by Walton, but he pushed off. No basket.
And Phil Jackson sitting over there just wondering, what is wrong with my team tonight? We thought we had them mentally ready after the two-game road trip that they came off and didn't get a victory there, got embarrassed in the game that they gave away, and then the Suns pretty much controlled tempo throughout and thought they'd be here at home and take care of business.
You know, and if you take anything away from that Phoenix game, of course, nobody else has a Steve Nash, but they share the basketball better than anybody in the NBA. Ball movement, and let's not be selfish about things and just watch and learn, if you will. There's Calderon missing, and we've got some pushing underneath. Lakers.
Should be on Lamar.
It should be, and it is. Popso was there with them, and they were doing a little shoving.
Well, defensive rotation after the penetration. You can see the right arm of Lamar give the shove. A little subtle push there, and gets caught, and then tries his hand at bowling. And nice looking spare there.
In memory of Chick, hand caught in the cookie jar that time.
He got caught.
Here is Jalen, goes to the right hand dribble. Of course, he's a lefty by nature. Now out to Calderon, sets, fires, doesn't get. And here is, good play that time by Joey Graham, the rookie from Oklahoma State, falling out of bounds, nowhere to go with it, threw it right off of Lamar.
Well, it was a controlled rebound, so they shouldn't have 24 on the clock. Somebody down there should yell at the ref. Oh, they changed it finally. Give him 23. But it was a controlled rebound, so you have to take something off the 24-second clock when you have a controlled board like that.
Jalen Rose, 12 years in the league. Good pass underneath, off the set, counted in the foul. Lakers got lost defensively, specifically Kwame Brown.
Well, and yeah, Kwame got a little lost there, but the blame there goes on the guy guarding the inbounds passer. You never have a play where your teammate, if he gets beat, it's beat for a layup. You don't square your shoulders up to the baseline. You protect the basket area and make them throw it out to the corner, but never right under the hoop.
Pop's free throw, no good. You know, the other night in Seattle, Toronto was 36 for 39 at the line. That was the difference in the game. They were 21 for 22 in the fourth quarter. Chris Bosh was 17 for 17 himself. Another foul away from the ball.
Another 3 seconds.
3 seconds on Bosh.
Two of them now called on Kwame, and the Lakers, as I talked about, are flat as a pancake to start this game, and Bill Jackson will have a couple of seconds here to try to revive it.
Back at Staples Center, 11-point lead. Can you believe it? The Toronto Raptors over the Lakers right now, 8:51 to go in the second. Lakers live wire. It's time to go down to the first row. We only talk to people in the front row because that's the only person that Stu would associate with. There you are, Chris. Chris Rock.
Yeah.
11-point lead for the Raptors. Who would have thunk at this point, huh?
Who would have thunk it? Not me.
Well, Chris is a big basketball fan. I know that. Your New York Knicks are starting to pick up the play a little bit.
A little bit. We won 6 in a row. Now we've lost 4 in a row. Hopefully we can win 6 in a row again.
Chris, by the way, I got news for you. With the loss yesterday, Toronto passed them. They're now in the cellar in the Atlantic Division.
Okay. Well, you know, we have to excel. We're going to be the best of the worst. Nothing in between for the Knicks.
Kobe Bryant, obviously an MVP candidate. Do you think he's the best player in the league right now, Chris?
Is Kobe the best player in the league? He's pretty good. He's the best player on a bad team in the league. I'll tell you that. All the players on bad teams, he's the best. But players on good teams, you got your Steve Nash, your Dwayne Wade, your Shaqs. You know, let's not diss those guys.
I love that response, Chris. Now, a little personal note here. What you got working?
Let's see. Me and Mr. Katzenberg, we're talking about Madagascar too.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're working on it right now.
Is Baron Cohen going to be back in that too? I thought he, as the Lemur King, was pretty outstanding.
In between plays.
We're in between plays. Kobe's going to be in Madagascar too. He's going to have a lot of free times, being that they're not going to be in the playoffs.
Thank you. What's Katzenberg doing? Didn't he sell his gig off too?
No.
No, I thought he did. Hey, Chris.
Yes?
We'll keep tabs on your Knicks throughout the year, and we appreciate you joining us.
I can't wait to the rematch, the Knicks and Lakers rematch.
All right, we got it.
All right.
Chris Rock, row number 1. Here's Devin George with a shot missed, and now Walton has it. Oh, he tussles with Bosh, and we're going to have a jump ball.
Lakers just have to, again, they've been flat since the beginning of this game. The Raptors came out. Now, I thought they came out loose. I mean, they're the road team, and came out and tried to run the tempo that they've wanted to run, and the Lakers have allowed that. Until the Lakers control tempo, they're going to be on the downside of the scoreboard.
By the way, Stu, we can't let that go. Chris Bosh just bashing, Chris Rock just bashing the Lakers like he was.
Well, you know Chris the comedian, but he's also a New York Knicks fan, so you know he's not going to give the Lakers too much props.
Weak side rebound. Jalen Rose looks ahead. Now we'll slow things up. 7:14 remaining in the quarter, and here's Devin holding Jalen Rose before he can get to the basket. That's his first personal foul. 15 fouls, so it's free throw time for Jalen Rose.
You know, we've played just about 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 46 seconds here in the second quarter, and Kobe's been on the bench the entire time. Of late, Kobe's been getting that second quarter rest of about 5 to 6 minutes. And seemingly tonight, it's going to be the same thing, as he hasn't made any kind of move to reinsert him.
Friday night in Phoenix, it really didn't hurt them that much. In the second quarter, it was the third quarter once again that did the Lakers in. Smush Parker had that 7 in a row the other night in the second quarter. Lakers actually played better when Kobe was on the bench in Phoenix, but normally that would not be the case.
They're not playing better with him on the bench tonight.
Not tonight. So got to get him back in. Here's Kwame Brown back to the basket. 44-32. That's pretty good ball movement. Inside, Devin George. Turn around. Look out. Fly swatted away by Bosh.
Well, the clock doesn't get reset, Luke.
It's a 3. It's a 2. It's a beat it. Here's a long jumper by Odom, and now it will reset with the rebound to Kwame Brown. Lamar, right-handed dribble. Off the glass, can't hit. Bosh, baseball pass, Jalen Rose. 12-point Laker deficit. Rose again, 17 feet, not going to get there. Kwame's got another rebound.
Now, I talked about the softness of that zone, but that zone's been effective against the Lakers, especially here in the second quarter. Lakers haven't been able to knock down perimeter shots, and so I would think that Toronto's going to stay in it.
Kwame with 9 rebounds on the other end, fumbling, stumbling, out now to Odom. He sifts his way through 2 players, gives it off to Brown, forces his way up, blocked, and it's out of bounds as the shot clock expires. Where the Lakers just don't have anything going offensively.
That time when Lamar made his penetrating move off the dribble, he should have tried to take the shot, because he had to be aware that the clock was winding down. Passing it with 3 seconds, that can lead to trouble.
And the Boo Birds showing their frustration. Here's Calderon. Halfway through quarter number 2. Bosh runs into George. Another foul on Devin. Free throws to Bosh, as mentioned, made 17 out of 17 in the win on Friday.
Lakers need a oh, there it is. I think they're calling a timeout.
They are.
Dead ball situation. Go sit down, talk to your coach, and figure out what you need to do to get into the ball game. There's exactly 6 minutes left in the first half, and it has been one that the fans have not even been involved in, because there's been nothing for them to cheer about. Missed shots, a lot of them by the Lakers. In fact, 6 in a row.
Horrible half of basketball for the Lakers, down 44-32. No other way to put it. And Stu Lance, I know you excelled in your SATs. Remember back when? Way back when. All right, so here's the game. Brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Which name doesn't belong in this group?
Let me see. The 2003 draft, the first 5 picks. LeBron James, Darko Milicic, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. Let me see. I think I'll go with number 2. Gee, I would have missed that one.
Could you imagine?
Wow.
We were talking about this before. Could you imagine either Carmelo, Chris, or Dwayne being with the Pistons?
No.
Right now.
No, they're already pretty much the class team of the NBA. What are they, 32-5 or something like that?
Yeah, and you look at Dwayne Wade being taken after Chris Bosh, and you can't say it's a mistake, because the way this kid right here has blossomed and the kind of career that he is probably going to have, averaging nearly a double-double here in his 3rd season out of Georgia Tech.
And like I said at the beginning, I think he's just going to get better and better. He has a desire to improve, and that's what you have to have. Some players come into the league and they don't have the desire to improve. They get complacent with where they are. They love the money, so where's the incentive for them to get better?
He's 12th in the league in rebounding, 8th in double-doubles. It's a double-double just about every night. Kobe is back in, and not a moment in the league in rebounding, 8th in double-doubles. It's a double-double just about every night. Kobe is back in, and not a moment too soon, and he immediately hits a 3. Kobe Bryant, 17 right now with the Lakers 35.
And he's only played 13 minutes, so he's going to be able to get any shot he wants against the zone. It's about the Lakers making shots.
Bosch driving in on Mim. Doubling up as George takes it away. Good play by Devin. Here's Smush. The defense gets back. This is money for Brian Cook. Brian Cook's got 2 for the Lakers, and they get 4 in a row out of the timeout.
Is that the first time tonight they've had back-to-back hoops?
What were they shooting before that in the quarter? 1 for 11, 9%.
Yeah, they were shooting 1 for 11 in the quarter. I don't think you can win many games shooting 9%.
Here's Bosch, that little fall-away jumper. Another foul away from the basketball.
Well, if you want to get going and you're a little bit flat-footed, play the defense. That gets you out and gets you into transition and make a couple of quick hoops, and it can really pick your spirits up. So they went from defense to offense in a hurry, and Brian Cook, he's a real good catch-shoot player, knocks down the jumper.
Fouls on Cook. Lakers long been out of fouls. Popso back to the free throw line with 5:05 remaining in the half. And he'll roll one in. Raptors actually a better team on the road than they are at home. Yes, they've only won 8 road games, but their 8-13 record away from the Air Canada Center is better than their 6-13 at home. Couple of free throws.
Well, they're knocking down their free throws. They're not getting a whole lot of them. They've made 8 out of 9. That's obviously 89%. So Lakers just have to just pick it up, talk a little bit defensively, make the right decisions,
and get aggressive. Lakers didn't shoot a whole lot of free throws in Phoenix the other night. What, only 17? Kobe had 9 of them. Kobe twice, can't get around Peterson, in and out. Pretty good defense that time by Mo Pete.
And that time he stayed down. Kobe tried to get him to bite on the bait, but he didn't bite, so Kobe had to shoot over outstretched arms.
James again. Now to Eric Williams, who's in the game, fumbles it away to Parker, and he's blocked there by James before Smush could get free.
Mishandled that time by Eric Williams, and Smush will get credit for the steal, but that was a gift that was handed right to him. Smush is more than happy to take that one and take it the other way.
Kobe, the rest of the team, ho hum. This is a story that we've been talking about all season long. Who's going to step up besides number 8? And he's there again. Little pump fake, goes straight up, can't hit it. So he's missed his last 2, and Bosch clears the board.
That's a tough shot. When they don't bite on it, when you're shooting it and you're falling away over outstretched arms, it can be difficult.
A lot of give and take here as Peterson throws it away. Devin George has yet another steal.
They don't catch Mo Pete. That's called impeding the progress, not letting the players run freely. And Mo Pete stood right in front of Kobe trying to come from the weak side to the strong, and he held him up.
And they're going to have to get Peterson out of the game with his 3rd personal foul and 4 minutes to play in the half, 3rd team foul. And Jalen Rose, who had been coming off the bench all year until Friday night. Friday was his first start in 2 months, and they figured Joey Graham was wearing down a little bit. Time to get Jalen in the starting lineup. Here's Kobe amongst 4 players. Bim tip, no. Rebound taken by Williams. 48-37. Raptors on top with the basketball, and James heading towards the end of this quarter. James bounce pass to Bosch over Brian Cook. That's fresh snow from the right side.
And he seemingly can get that shot when he wants, because when he gets the ball in an ISO play, they're backing off of him as Kobe gets called for carrying the ball. So another turnover for the Lakers. But referring back to Bosch, they're so afraid of his first step. They're giving him that distance, and he could take that shot whenever he wants.
9 turnovers, just about as bad as the Lakers have looked in quite a long time. 50-37. And that's no disrespect to Toronto. Here's James, little floater off the glass to score. 52-37, and James has 13.
Well, the crowd really getting restless here, and they have a reason to, because the Lakers just have not hit any kind of stride.
Devin George guns it to Mim, little backdoor. Kobe scores on the slam.
Well, that time they ran their offense. They literally ran their offense. And Chris Mim comes up on the pinch post, a nice handoff to Kobe, and the finish.
James bumping and grinding with Smush. Mim comes out on the switch, so they leave it to Bosch, who runs over a man charging as Brian Cook takes the charge.
Well, Brian Cook leads the Lakers in offensive fouls taken, because he will sacrifice his body, as he did there against Chris Bosh. Kobe Bryant coming back into the ballgame after a long stay on the bench, and he's trying to get them back on the offensive end, and with plays like that, I think it can be done.
Laker basketball on FSN West is being brought to you by the official airline of the NBA, Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom, and by Pepsi. And despite the score, I hope you're enjoying our presentation of Laker basketball. 52-39. Joel Myers on assignment. Let's just say he was up in Seattle today. I'm Max, Stu alongside, part of the crowd at Staples Center, and dare I say they have been stunned so far in this game.
Yeah, the fans have definitely been stunned. I don't know if the Lakers have been stunned. They haven't awakened yet, so maybe when they wake up, they'll be stunned when they see the score. But they've got 2:45 to go here in the half to do something about this deficit.
Make a little headway. It's 52-39. Mim off to Parker and off the pick. Smush from the playgrounds of New York. They're just about every league available and found a home here in Los Angeles. Now Lamar Odom kicks it out to Parker. Three-pointer in front of his bench, and he knocks it down. Good play by Lamar, finding the open Smush.
Drive and kick and found the open man where all he had to do was catch it and shoot it. And then Lamar picks up the assist. But Lamar is still scoreless in this game.
7 for Parker. And James knocks down Smush and then drains the three. He's pretty good, isn't he?
Kind of hard to play defense when you're sitting on your wallet.
Lamar, as Stu mentioned, still looking for his first basket. With the dribble, goes to the right, knocks down Eric Williams. Offensive foul, Lamar Odom. That's his third. Minute 59 remaining. Lamar, frustrated.
And a good call. I mean, he hits him right in the sternum. Doesn't get his head or shoulder past the defensive player, and that generally makes it an easy call for the officials.
Devin George rushed back in. He's on the floor along with Kobe, Cook, Mim, and Smush Parker. Here's Bonner. The Rocket as they call him. Boy, he doesn't hesitate, does he? Catch and shoot.
Well, he knows his role. I mean, he's not a guy that puts it on the floor and creates off the dribble. So when he catches the ball and he's open, do what you do best.
Yeah, blue collar, face the basket guy out of Florida, second year, and knocks down the three with regularity. Kobe trying to answer back from two. Little past the corner of the key. Kobe with 21 relatively silent points the way the Lakers are playing right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 21, but if you look at the scoreboard, that's what counts. The Lakers are down by 14.
Bonner, 2 in a row. Not this time. Weak side Kobe. Looks up, wants the break. Stays with the dribble. Kobe trying to do the one-man show thing, perhaps knocks a man down. Nothing called. Parker corner, not going to get there. Both Cook and Mim were there. Neither could control. And here comes Mike James for the Toronto Raptors. Whoa, tries to whip it, no look. Underneath to Williams, stolen away. Kobe 1-on-2. Kobe all the way, and he's fouled.
Good job by Kobe. Two defenders are back, but one of those defenders, Jalen Rose, Kobe never gave him a chance to turn and set. Jalen Rose was almost side pedaling down the floor, trying to get in a defensive position, and Kobe kept attacking, and finally got fouled, and he's at the line with under a minute to go here in the half, and the Lakers in desperate need of some stops.
Well, we can always go to the side story when the Lakers are down by 14. That's what now, 61 in a row?
I've lost
62 in a row.
I
now.
lost track.
Get the abacus out.
Let's
go.
Let me take my shoe off.
62.
That's a nice string. That really is a nice string.
NBA record 97.
Michael Williams.
Kobe missed it. So the streak comes to an end. Did I do it?
Yeah.
Is it my fault? I'm not going to hear it. Laker fans everywhere.
Well, he gets his own miss, though, and gets a two-point basket out of it. So it turns out to be a profitable miss.
What a remarkable string of consecutive free throws. A new Laker record. 62, Kobe Bryant comes to an end here. And, you know, why not? It's just fitting. In a horrible half that the Lakers are playing, something else went wrong. 5 on the shot clock. Bosh rattles it home from the baseline. 60-49.
And you get 60 points in the first half.
Play some defense.
Would you please?
The scoreboard says 60-49. We have it at 60-47. Now 60-49. We'll see if they change it. Yeah, it's 60-49. They change it here also.
Well, they just knew Kobe was going to score real rapidly, so they didn't have to. They put it up in a hurry.
Clairvoyant. Over on the scores table. Shot clock off, of course. 5 left, 4 left. James for 3, uncontested, hit it. Boy, Mim was out there laying around the pick, and that would be a fitting way to end the half, and is, as Parker just throws it the length of the court, 63-49.
I tell you what, I would love to be in the Laker locker room at halftime just to hear the verbiage from Coach Phil Jackson.
When we come back, it'll be the Jack in the Box halftime report. Michael Eaves, Jack Haley. I wonder what Jack will have to say. 63-49. Balanced scoring by the Raptors. One of them, Mike James. Kobe's streak comes to an end, but he's been the lone offensive bright spot for the Lakers, who are down big at the half.
24 minutes, and they can do that. All they have to do is play a little bit of defense, and to do that, you got to stay on your feet and challenge some shots. James, is that LeBron James? Oh, no. That's Mike James. He had 19 points on 7 out of 8 shooting from the field. The Raptors shot 62%. You let a team shoot 62%, Lakers ought to be happy to be only down by 14. Some of their offense, or maybe the majority of their offense, was in the hands of number 8, Kobe Bryant. The last 12 games, he's averaged 40. Well, he's got 26 at halftime. He might have to get 50 tonight for the Lakers to pull this one out. Again, only shooting 40%, not getting any from the three-point line, 30% from that distance, not getting to the free throw line very often. They are getting a lot of offensive rebounds, but what they need to do is pick it up on the defensive end.
Those first half numbers brought to you by Pepsi. Now, obviously, Kobe has been the brunt of the offense most of the season for Phil Jackson, and you see tonight no exception. Kobe 26, the rest of the team 23. Kobe the other night had 37, a lot of those in garbage time at the end of the game, at a 51, another 50-plus point game during that heartbreaking loss in Sacramento. But he's going to have more second half heroics here tonight. Now, good news, if you look at numbers and you look at trends, the Lakers have not played well in the third quarter. They didn't play well in the third quarter against Phoenix the other night. However, the third quarter has been the worst quarter for Toronto all season long. They normally come out flat after halftime. So the Lakers hoping that will happen here tonight with Toronto.
Well, you know, people are probably tired of me saying this, but I'm a big believer in the first 5 minutes of the third quarter. Lakers are down 14. They've got to win the first 5. And if they do that, I think they'll win this game.
See what kind of energy they come out with. Smush Sands headband right now, obviously, after that first half. Here's Lamar. Lamar jump steps in the lane now with the Kobe. Will he hit his first of the half? He will not. Off of Peterson. Lakers will get a break, and they'll get the ball out of bounds. Lakers start with Parker, Kobe, Brown, Mim, and Lamar. Same 5 that started the game, and the same starting 5 on the floor for Mitchell. Sam Mitchell. Here's Parker. Bounce pass to Kobe Bryant. Just starting the second half. Kobe's jumper on no good. Mim went over the back and out of bounds, and the Lakers will get another opportunity.
Well, that's what you give up when you play a zone. You give up offensive rebounds because you're responsible for an area and not a person, and they sneak in and get good position on you.
And Toronto has been very vulnerable in that aspect and in the paint. Seattle had twice as many points in the paint as the Raptors, despite their loss to Toronto the other night. How about Mike James? How about Mike James? Another three-pointer.
Well, he's doing his LeBron James imitation tonight. He's 6 for 6 from behind the three-point line. He's got 22 points. I mean, he's absolutely carrying them offensively.
Last 8 games, he's averaging over 21 points a game. Smush down the lane, runs over a man, charging. No basket. Bonner held his ground.
Well, when you're going into the paint, especially against the zone, you can get into the seams, but there's going to be people on the inside. You have to be able to change directions or pull up, shoot the ball without having your momentum carry you into it.
Well, the good news there is that Smush was being aggressive. The other night he shot no free throws again. In fact, he's only shot 70-some free throws all year. Now it's out to Lamar on the rebound.
And Lamar has to get going. All of the Lakers have to get going offensively.
Kobe has been going, and he keeps it going with the backhand layup. Bryant again for the Lakers. Kobe's got 28.
Kobe's always in attack mode, so I never worry about Kobe scoring because he does that in his sleep.
Rose goes around a pick. Kwame's got a challenge there. Jalen can't hit. Mim goes up to get a rebound for Chris. That's his 4th. Now Bryant to Mim. No basket.
You see, against 2 defenders that time, Kobe was able to turn the corner. Then he gets into the interior of their defense and just slides to his left a bit to avoid the charge, and then they foul him on the pass. And the Toronto Raptors want to talk it over a little bit. They think that the Lakers, well, they made a basket. They don't want to make them 2 in a row.
Coach Phil Jackson and staff. Stu wanted to be a fly on the wall in the locker room. Obviously, the staff probably had some stern words for this group. And as Stu and I both agree, they're capable of making the comeback. 66-51. We're just a minute 45 into the half. Kwame can't get the offensive rebound, fumbled it out of bounds. Had an opportunity on the Lamar Odom miss. Toronto's basketball.
I mean, Lamar was really floating on that shot. Seemingly he went into the air without shot in mind, looking to pass, but while up there, the pass wasn't available and he had to shoot.
James playing with a ton of confidence and strong on the ball to Bosch. Bonner, look out below. Matt Bonner, yet another 3. He's got 8, so balanced scoring. All 5 starters scored in double figures the other night. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened again here tonight, the way the Lakers are playing deep.
Well, I talked about the first 5 minutes where the Lakers are not winning that, and they've fallen behind even further.
Kobe baseline, got it again. Kobe, 30 points on 12 for 22 shooting.
30 of the 53. That's not good. One of the reasons why they're down is they're not getting the contributions from other people.
Oh, look at the fake, and underneath, Peterson gets hammered after leaving the defense out by the bench. And Kwame picks up the personal foul, second personal, first team foul on the Lakers. Great move to begin at first step.
They had Kobe running at him, and Kobe couldn't stop the penetration. So the open lane, Morris Peterson, Mo Pete to shoot a pair.
Mo Pete, the Iron Man in the NBA right now with 319 in a row. That's no AC Green stuff, but still pretty good, and he's their franchise leader in games played. You see that game the other night when he got tossed out against New Jersey?
No, I didn't.
Vince Carter came over, gave him a playful slap. He kind of slapped him back a little bit. The referee didn't see Vince coming over to give him the friendly slap, just saw the little retaliation and got kicked out of the game.
As so often happens, the officials always catch the second play.
Yeah, and it wasn't even really, Vince just came over as a friendly nature because he's an old teammate of his. Here comes Jalen Rose, 3-on-2, middle man behind the back. Here's James from 3 in the corner, not going to be close.
He missed.
Didn't he though? Oh, and Lakers had a breakaway with Kobe at the other end. But the foul is on Chris Bosh, his second personal, second team foul of the quarter.
Well, the foul because everybody on the Raptors team was in shock that Mike James missed a shot from behind the arc. That's his first miss in 7 attempts.
8 out of 10 overall for Mike James, 5th year out of Duquesne. Kobe Bryant, Lower Marion High School, of course, Pennsylvania. Just yo-yoing the dribble and stops at the top of the key. Well, Kobe's got his stroke.
But seemingly, Kobe always has his stroke.
Didn't have it the other night for most of the game.
Well, yeah, in that regard, you're right. I mean, there's going to be nights like that. And a lot of times people say, well, whoever was guarding did the job. It's just one of those nights where he couldn't get the shot to fall.
Stu, Kobe has the last 13 Laker points. Another miss. Let's see if the Lakers can make it 2 in a row off of Kwame's rebound. Now to Bryant.
Well, they're giving him the ball to see if he can add to it.
Yes, he does. Three-pointer, Kobe Bryant. Go ahead, guys, get on my back. We'll see what we can do. 35 for Kobe, and we've got 8 minutes to go in the third. One of those nights, huh?
Well, again, too much of a load on one player to win consistently.
Bosh, who does it night in and night out for his team. It's the mid-range jumper. He's got a dozen points. 59%. That's what Toronto's shooting right now.
That tells you what the Lakers are doing defensively.
Kobe again! Three-pointers got 38 points.
That got Phil Jackson up. I think he's a little concerned, a lot concerned about their lack of unity on the offensive end and obviously their lack of defense.
Stu, as well as Kobe shoots, and as much as you can ride him, sharing the basketball is a mantra that obviously the coaches just try to drive the Lakers night in and night out.
Well, I mean, it makes it that much more difficult for the defense if they have to worry about 5 people as opposed to 1.
Bonner, short. Kwame had it. Here comes Smush. Now over Lamar Odom, trying to work on Bonner. Throws it up, misses. Mim had the tip to keep it alive, and we've got a chance for a Toronto break the other way. They lead 73-61, so the Lakers cutting into it a bit, but they let Jalen Rose go uncontested to the hole and score.
You know, maybe if I was Phil Jackson, I'd go a little small here. Not to increase the tempo, but just to see if I can get 4 guys out there, 4 smaller ones out, so that I can have defenses that can switch certain plays so that you don't have to realize or utilize the screens as much. They're calling a tripping foul on Jalen Rose. He can't believe it. And as I say that, Phil Jackson has Devin George up off the bench. Wouldn't surprise me if he's bringing him in for Lamar.
Lamar Odom having a rough night tonight. He'll be at the free throw line. Odom has not scored, 0 for 6. This would be his first point of the contest, and he still doesn't have one. 75-61. Lamar, who had a double-double in the first half in Phoenix, but couldn't match that output in the second half. Stays in the game, of course, as Kwame goes to the bench, and as Stu alluded to, Devin comes in for a little size, quickness, speed factor. Lamar on the board. Kobe had made 19 straight points for the Lakers until that free throw.
Well, the Lakers lost the first 5 minutes by a lot, so let's see what they can do for the rest of the game. They've got an enormous hole to try to dig themselves out of here. 13 points.
Raptors, one of the red-hot teams, one of the higher-scoring teams since the turn of the calendar. Here's Bosh. Here's a shot, no good, and up the ladder goes Devin George. Now to Kobe. Still 6.5 to play in the third. He pulls up for a 3. Yes! Kobe again.
When he gets it going like that, I think this is a great timeout by Sam Mitchell. Just a great timeout, because Kobe right now is really in a groove again. He's got 41 points, and he came down in semi-transition on that last basket and just reared up from a foot behind the 3-point line and buried it right in front of the Raptors bench. Well, the Lakers have cut the deficit to 10, trailing the Raptors 75-65. Still over half the third quarter left to be played. And Kobe Bryant, well, he's in one of those zones that he can get into, and he gets into them quite a bit, knocking down shot after shot from behind the arc, anywhere on the floor. It's been Kobe's quarter. It's been Kobe's game, for that matter. He's got 41 total for tonight. He's got 15, I believe, in this 6-minute stretch here. The 13th time this season he has scored 40 or more.
5 times he's gone over 45, and of course he dropped that 62 on Dallas when he outscored the Mavericks in 3 quarters. He might have to do that again if the Lakers are going to win here tonight. Here's Bonner, tied up by Odom.
Yeah, he should have dropped the ball. He's going to call a jump. Yeah, he's going to call a jump, because when he hit the ball, Lamar did a great job of staying down. As Bonner tried to turn and go up, he just gets the ball stripped out of his hands. That's a jump ball.
Lamar at 6'10". Bonner at 6'10".
Well, if the Lakers control this tip, that'll be a turnover for the Raptors, but they don't control the tip.
And Bosh has it down deep. Down if it goes, it doesn't go, and he'll go to the line and shoot 2. Let's check out a score from Phoenix. Remember, the Suns took care of. All right. It took them 2 overtimes.
Oh, my goodness.
How much fun are they to watch?
My goodness.
How much fun is Phoenix to watch?
52 to 149. Phoenix has lost all the games this year when they've been in 2 or more overtimes. I think that's their 3rd or 4th game where they've been in either 2 or 3 overtimes, and they've lost those.
So the Lakers could gain a little ground on the Suns. Sonics rebound from their loss on Friday. We mentioned earlier that the Clippers beat up on Golden State here at Staples Center this afternoon. Clippers take on Golden State tomorrow. Lakers play Golden State their next game here on Friday before that road trip. And Stu, I know that's in the back of everyone's mind. 7 games, 11 days, 3 back-to-backs. But that's a week from now.
And that's the NBA.
Yep. Life in the league.
Life
Here's Kobe trying to move around Mo Pete, trying to put him up. Finally shoots, counted in the foul. You talked about him being in one of those zones.
Yeah.
He's definitely in it right now.
I mean, he's always in a zone that's different from every other player, but when he gets into this particular type of a zone, there's really nothing you can do. I mean, Mo Pete tried to stay patient and stay down, but on that third head fake, he decides to go up with him. He hits him on the arm.
And he starts a new streak.
A three-point play for Kobe, and it's down to a 9-point deficit.
Kobe's got 44. He's got Jerry West on him here in the third. Here is Jalen Rose all the way in the lane. Hesitated. Kobe stripped him. 2-on-2. Kobe's with Smush. Kobe all the way. Kobe put it up. Offensive. Yes. No basket. Ran over Mike James. I waited, and the outside official made the call.
Well, the outside official had a better view than the one that was under the basket. After the turnover by the Raptors, Kobe's called for the offensive foul. James was not in the restricted area. There's no question about that. He was outside the area. Gets hit right in the chest. Offensive foul, turnover, give the ball back to Toronto.
13th turnover for the Lakers. Kobe, that's just his first foul.
Devin George running up the back of Bonner there. Couldn't stop his momentum after Bonner picked up his dribble.
It's a pretty big back, too. Third foul on Devin, 4th team foul, and we still have 5:28 remaining, so Lakers out of fouls.
Both teams out of fouls. This could be a long quarter.
Charlie Villanueva's back in.
That's bad news.
Oh, he was remarkable in that first quarter.
6 out of 8 from the field in the first quarter, or in the first half. He played 12 minutes total, 12 points.
There's Charlie. You can see that head of his. That's not by choice. He suffers from a condition called alopecia, which is premature hair loss. But you know, he has been great with kids who suffer from the same thing. 20 meet and greets throughout the course of the season, giving kids some confidence. It's not just lip service. He's just one of a lot of great character guys on this team. Here's Odom underneath to Mim, but we had a whistle. That's no basket.
And the foul was on Bonner on the pass, so Odom will be shooting 2 free throws. The defensive Mim, though, on the other end, blocking Villanueva's shot. Nice pass by Jalen Rose. And good recovery by Chris Mim.
Chris, who leads the Lakers in block shots. Now at the other end, he'll watch Lamar shoot free throws. 7 blocks for the Lakers tonight.
They need 17. The way they're playing defensively.
Well, Lamar's got 2 free throws. Other than that, Stu, Kobe has scored 25 of the last 27 for the Lakers, and it's 77-69. The largest margin for Toronto was 18.
18 in this quarter. There's still 5 minutes and 12 seconds to play here, and the Lakers, with this free throw coming here, if he's successful, which he is, it's a 7-point game. So the Lakers starting to get a little bit of bounce in their step. Kobe has really helped them in that department offensively.
Little full court pressure, trying to change tempo. Bosch just gets it across the timeline. Chris, who can move with the basketball now to Villanueva. Well, he was underneath with nowhere to go, and then was fouled.
Oh,
and Chris Mim, and Chris, yeah.
That's got to be a tough foul for Chris Mim to take there. I mean, Chris Mim says, what did I do? All I did was stand there. He's the one doing the pivoting. He says, well, I have the last say, and I say you fouled him. Let's let him shoot a pair.
12 out of 13 tonight for Toronto from the line. Another make. Let's take a look at it again, see what kind of contact Chris Mim on Charlie Villanueva.
I'm looking. Where is it?
There's no, that's a bad call. In and out. So only one after the non-foul called on Chris Mim. 4:53 remaining third quarter. I'm Bill McDonald in for Joel Myers. Here's Kobe again. Yes, sir. And the crowd's starting to sense it too as he builds up to 47 now. And more importantly for the team, Lakers coming back.
Only down by 5, and Kobe has put him on his back here in the third quarter. And he has been on an absolute roll. 47 points with 4:42 left to play in the third. And they've tried a number of different faces in front of him, but Kobe hasn't seen any of them.
Laker basketball on FSN West is being brought to you by the Rocky Mountain Refreshing Coors Light. Taste the cold. And by your Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive the Lexus ES today. You know what that sound is? It's all the players in the NBA calling each other up right now, saying, get on the tube right now because Kobe's doing his thing.
He's after it yet again. He's made the Lakers last 11 field goals.
He's 8 for 10 in the quarter. Trying to answer it back, he can't hit. Lamar Odom's got a rebound for the Lakers. For Lamar, that's his third. Lamar going all the way coast to coast, blocking foul. And Lamar will go back to the free throw line.
And Lamar scratching his head a little bit, trying to think, how am I going to get this first hoop? I'm getting to the free throw line now, but I can't get that first basket, as this time James gets there late. Moose still moving, gets called for the blocking foul, so 2 free throws coming to Lamar. He's 3 out of 4 from that distance for his 3 points.
Odom averages 15.5 points, nearly 10 rebounds, 5.5 assists a game. He's a 69% free throw shooter, and he hits it, and it's a 4-point deficit for the Lakers.
And that free throw was made for Lily Perez, who's a little under the weather. We wish her a speedy recovery.
And I'll also dedicate that to Jude Harris, Tim's son, who's finally understanding what Kobe's doing. Here's a travel.
Mike James thinks he's going to the free throw line, then he turns around and he says, you
what?
Called what? I did what? Well, there's such a thing as a pivot foot, and they're saying that you shuffled it before you put the ball down, which is not unusual here in the NBA.
Full court pressure. Yeah, normally they just turn the other cheek on that. Full court pressure working for the Lakers. Now here is Smush as the crowd starts to chant Kobe. Kobe. Fall away jumper, going to be short. Oh, Chris Min, great play. Never came down with it and followed and scored.
That's the right thing for bigs to do, especially because they bring it down and the smalls take it away from him.
You want to give Kobe an assist?
No.
Okay, here's James. Lob it under to Jalen Rose, the veteran, original part of the Fab Five at Michigan. Turning in low, raked away, and fouled. Could be Smush or Devin from behind. Smush is raising his hand, and it's going to be Smush Parker.
And they're calling it on Smush, and Smush is saying, I didn't do anything. If anything, it's Devin George from behind. But they're saying that Smush is the guy that fouled him. And so Jalen Rose will go to the free throw line and see if he can stop this string by the Lakers. They're only down by a single point.
Jalen had 31 in 23 minutes at the Air Canada Center last Sunday in a big win over the Knicks. You know, this team thinks that they can still get in the playoffs. I mean, when you think about it, in the East, 2 games under 500 right now is the 8th spot. You got to really get on a run, but still, you don't even have to be at 500 maybe to get in.
Well, that's why you got to keep just plugging away, and Sam Mitchell's trying to convince his team of that fact. That if they keep improving and winning games, they have a shot.
Lamar still looking for a field goal. Now out to Kobe. Right now, Joey Graham's on him, the rookie from Oklahoma State. And on the line, stepped out of bounds. Turnover, Lakers. They're down 80-77, 3.5 to play in the third.
Turnovers are something you obviously you don't like at any time, but when you're trailing and trying to make this tremendous comeback from 18 points, you can't turn it over.
And 14 turnovers for the Lakers, turning into 18 Raptor points, backing down his Rose. He's got the full repertoire. He's got to get the shooter's touch, and does. Well, they are such a better team with Jalen in the starting lineup, but then the bench has been very productive, Stu. In fact, this is the best bench scoring team in the NBA, the Toronto Raptors.
Well, they use their bench probably more than anybody else.
Oh, wrap around under the Smush. Great pass by Lamar. Normally, simple passes, simple plays make it happen, but not that time.
Well, that really, for that particular player, Smush to get the ball, that was the only pass that Lamar could throw him.
82-79, open, Grant. He hits it, unguarded three-pointer from the corner, and Joey's got his first points.
Back to a 6-point margin here.
Kobe all the way, reverse layup is good, and Sam Mitchell is beside himself on the sideline about the defense. 49 for Kobe.
Or lack thereof. There was no help that time as Kobe waltzed his way into the paint.
Well, it's going to be interesting fourth quarter. What kind of defense Toronto throws at Kobe? 2, 3 players at a time. Who knows? We've seen it many times, Stu.
Also going to be interesting to see what Phil does with Kobe to start the fourth. Does he sit him down like he normally does?
Would you?
No.
Ma'am, I wouldn't either. Let's go back a moment ago. Lamar wraparound to Smush Parker on the baseline.
I mean, they doubled Lamar on the baseline side, and there was really no way he could get the ball to Smush other than the pass that he made. It was a great pass, and the finish was nice. And what made Sam Mitchell upset was no help against the leading scorer in the league, a guy that is torching you for 49 so far, and you let him waltz his way to the rim.
You know what's the great thing about that pass by Lamar? That was about a 25, 30-foot wraparound pass. It wasn't just right to somebody, and he had to put some steam on it.
And the other good thing about that pass, he was on the baseline, not completely baseline, but just a foot or two off the baseline. So you wrap around a bounce pass, it's very easy to have that pass hit the baseline, and then that's a turnover. So all of that great stuff then looks rather silly.
Chris Mims, 72%er, makes them both. He's got 12. He's the only other Laker in double figures. 2 minutes to go in the quarter, and that's passed out of bounds.
That was some lob, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Villanueva was going toward the basket.
Kareem on a step stool couldn't get that one. It wasn't even close.
He says, "Woo, where's that going?" He says, "That's going right out of the exit there," as the Lakers take a timeout. Minute and 55 to play. A tremendous comeback for the Lakers. They're right back in the hunt, down by a 2-point margin.
Nothing quite like a party at Staples Center when the Lakers are in town. Hope to see you here before the year is out. Come enjoy Laker basketball in person. 85-83, the Lakers coming back. They haven't completed it yet. Coors brings us the upcoming Lakers schedule. I'll tell you what, Stu, you're going on it, so you comment on it.
It's long.
Start packing.
I heard you say 11 days. I was looking at the counter, and it's 12 days.
I'm sorry. Okay, 12.
Come on, we're going to cut it 1 day short.
I'm going to miss you.
It's a tough trip. There's no question about it. But everybody in the NBA has a trip similar to that. It's not like the Lakers got the short end of a schedule. I mean, just the last time that the Miami Heat were here when the Lakers beat them, that was the last day of a 14-day road trip. So just to use that as an example, all teams have to go through it. But all teams don't have to go through what Kobe is going to the Toronto Raptors. He's got 49, 23 in the third after a season-low 11 against Toronto back in December.
Yeah, that was a game where Lamar took charge, led the Lakers with 19 back on December the 7th. Kobe played under 30 minutes in that game. And now Bryant with 49. Dave Davis, our statistician, reminding us Lakers trailed 71-53 with 8.5 minutes to go in the quarter. Since then, they've outscored them 30-14. Have an opportunity here to draw even with 1:37 remaining in the quarter.
And it's funny, Sam Mitchell has tried so many different people on Kobe, the big guards, small forwards. So now he's decided to go with Calderon on him. And I think the purpose there, or the intent there, is for him to try to deny Kobe the ball. Just face guard if you have to, make other people become offensive threats.
Halfway point of the season tonight. Smush Parker, biggest surprise story perhaps?
I don't know if he's the big surprise. I mean, he's a pleasant surprise. He's been inconsistent, though. I mean, he's had games where he's shown what he can do. Then there are other games where he just doesn't get involved in the offense very much.
By the way,
he is a pleasant surprise, though. Don't get me wrong.
By the way, folks, we're tied at 85. Minute 29 remaining, third quarter. To the post and Bosch. He can do so many things from right there. His favorite, though, is a fall-away jump shot. Now to James. James has 22 on the night. Knocked away by Kobe. Great hustle by Kobe. He's going to score. And dunk, Lakers lead.
Well, that's 51 for number 8. And the Lakers go up by a deuce.
MVP, huh? No doubt right now. James, left-handed dribble. Toronto stunned. They're down after leading by 18 in the quarter. James for three. Short. Long lead, looking for Smush. Off the tip, he's got it to score.
That was some two-hand pass by Chris Mim. Two-hand over the head, and basically perfect because Calderon only got a fingernail on it, and it wasn't enough.
What a turnaround. Smush, stolen, Calderon. They got to get it across the timeline.
8-second violation.
That's absolutely right.
See what happens when you play a little bit of D? It becomes infectious. Everybody gets going, but I think what got them going on the defensive end is Kobe's onslaught offensively, and now they're really picking it up. They've got themselves a 4-point advantage. 36 seconds. They can go 2 for 1 here. So if they get it into Kobe, he's going to take a real quick shot to make sure they get 2 shots for 1 to end the quarter.
You always hear it, every level of basketball, defense leads to offense. And the Lakers right now up by 4. Devin George, after inserted in the lineup, you mentioned it. Oh, great pass. Kobe alone, slam dunk. Give the assist to Lamar. Toronto got lost on D.
And that was the worst defensive sequence the Raptors have played tonight.
Kobe has 53 points through 3.
Well, career high is what, 62?
Yeah, he's gonna top
I don't
that.
think he can get that in this quarter.
James, yeah, there's only 15 remaining in it. Toronto ice cold, Villanueva misses. Kobe's going to get one final shot in the quarter. You would assume it's going to be number 8, 91-85. Kobe, again, not this time. Tipped up and missed. Villanueva secures, and that'll do it for the quarter. Listen to this crowd saluting their purple and gold.
And saluting number 8 in particular. What a quarter he had. I mean, the guy's got 53 at the end of 3. Does that remind you of anything? Reminds me of the fact that Kobe had 62 at the end of 3 against Dallas. The Lakers closed the quarter on a 12-zip run.
Are we spoiled? Do we take it for granted? I hope not, because we're watching greatness in Kobe Bryant. 50-point games with the Lakers, of course, Eld with 17, but then number 8 moving up the chart.
Yeah, I'd say he's moving up. He's only 8 behind the great Elgin Baylor. And he's got a lot left in his career to see what he can do about that. But tonight's performance is remarkable. He made 11 out of 15 shots in that third quarter. The Lakers as a team made 14 out of 21. Thank you, Kobe Bryant.
Stu, old school NBA, 91-85 after 3.
Yeah, it brings back the days when they scored 120 points a game.
Mike James trying to get red hot again. Pretty good defense that time by Kwame Brown. The miss. Odom has the rebound, guns a pass under to George from Smush, but he missed the layup. Pretty good pass by Parker on the break.
Right, that time Devin jumped away from contact, and that caused him to miss the shot. Take the contact, get to the free throw line.
Mo Pete now to Bonner. Ball movement, reversal now to Rose. Isolated one-on-one, now moving to the post is Bosch with 8 on the shot clock. So he just put the Kwame to bed right there on a nice little move, and he hits a mid-range jumper.
Well, he's a talented player. Smooth, got that nice stroke on the left side of his body.
Only he and LeBron in the East average over 20 points and shoot over 50%. So he beat company with another young superstar. Bryant out on the court, trying to move on Pete for 3. Pretty good defense that time. Tough shot.
Pretty good rebound by Devin George.
Gives him another shot clock. Kobe posting, turning, double in traffic, blocked by Bonner. Good play by Bonner. Out of bounds, Raptors.
Kobe got hit in the head. He's down. Lakers going to have to either quick call it 20 or because Raptor ball, either foul somebody or something.
Kobe slow getting up, and here comes Toronto into the front court, effectively 5-on-4. And a foul on the floor, Devin George. Let's see it again, above the right eye.
And you know, the last couple of weeks he's got hit in the eye a few times. That is really dangerous. Right there, he got raked across the eye by Mo Pete, I believe it was. He reached in, hit him in the eye. That's why so many players started to wear goggles. You don't see that many goggles anymore.
Technical foul, Kobe Bryant. barking at the officials after not calling the slap by Mo Peterson right there. Oh, and a foul by Bonner, too. Did you see him get wrist before he got ball?
Maybe looked like Kobe had some words for the official.
Jalen Rose knocks down the technical for the Kobe stare. All right, Kobe, you got one technical. Now get out there and play some ball. Here's James, picked up by Odom, way outside the arc. We got 10.5 to play, fourth quarter. 3-point lead, Lakers. James trying to draw contact, didn't. Mo Peterson goes to the dribble drive. That's something they want him to do more. Missed the shot, and Devon's got the rebound. That's 6 for George. Smush Parker looking to lob it into Kwame Brown. Does, but Kwame can't handle it. Hands have been a problem with Kwame from day one.
Cannot turn the ball over. You've made this nice comeback. You can't keep giving the ball back to the Raptors and let momentum switch sides again.
15 turnovers, Stu, for the Lakers.
Too many.
91-88. Kick it out, Bonner. His three. They've fallen off there. Lamar now slow getting up off the ground as he was run into. Even now to Devin George. And Lamar Odom, who is 0 for 6 from the floor. Kobe cut off at the pass. I can't go one way, so I'll go the other. That would have counted had it gone, but he'll shoot 2 free throws.
Well, I could tell after the technical, next time he got the ball, he was going to force the official to either blow the whistle or he was going to get to the basket some way. He gets to the basket some way, and the official does blow the whistle.
You know, despite the fact that he absolutely relishes in it, the wear and the tear of being the guy every single night.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant.
I mean, you know the defenses are all geared for you, but he's so talented. I mean, even though the defense is geared, he's so good off the dribble. He handles the ball with both hands equally as well. I mean, there's very, very little that you can do to really keep him down for the course of a game.
You know, pure basketball for Kobe this year. Void of all the drama off the court with the teammates, makes free throws. If you're joining us late, his free throw string came to an end at 62, but he's now started another, and foul on Smush, backcourt, his fourth. Second team foul.
Well, but the ball wasn't inbounded yet. That's what they're ruling, so that's free throws. Ball was still out of bounds, waiting to be thrown in when they called the foul.
And LT, Lawrence Tanner, relaying Stu's information to the assembled throng here at Staples Center. Remember, Lakers right back out here. Friday night before out on the road, Golden State. Hope to see you here at Staples Center. 9:47 remaining here. James, free throw, not good.
And he hasn't scored in a while. Remember, he had 22 a long time ago.
Mike James, by the way, can opt out after this season. You know, it's funny, the New York papers were linking James to the Knicks. What talent hasn't been linked to the Knicks in a New York paper? Seems like they try to make the deals for everybody. He missed both free throws.
Well, you can tell Mr. Momentum is still riding with the Lakers. 2 free throws, the chance to cut it to a 3-point game for Toronto, and they come up dry.
Kobe, nobody helping right now defensively, so he'll take the 15-footer. Kobe's got 57. Laker lead is 95-88. 5 away from his Laker high.
Yeah, there's just nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. He's in that zone.
If Toronto's going to come back, Bosh has got to be the guy. He's been the go-to person all season long. He is tripled by the Lakers. Unselfishly gives it to Bonner, but it was Odom there to force it.
Well, he was well behind the plane of the board, Chris Bosh was, when he tried to make that play. That's a tough play to make from that position on the floor.
Yeah, good defensive help by the Lakers coming over. 5th foul on Mo Peterson. 2nd team foul. And we got a timeout.
Well, at least Mo Pete can say that, hey, when Kobe went for 100 that night, I fouled out trying because he only got one more to give.
You called it.
And he's all over Kobe right now, but it hasn't made a difference. It's Kobe on fire. He's got his team up by 7.
As the Laker girls entertain the masses, want to remind you it's a 7-point Laker lead, and that CMI, the Chris Myers interview, kicks off a 2nd season this week with Heisman Trophy winning running back Reggie Bush. Bush opens up about his experience with the Trojans, his decision to turn pro, and candidly discusses his biggest fears about playing in the NFL. Defenses are going to have to fear him. That's Reggie Bush tonight at 9:30, only on FSN West. Well, remember when Kobe outscored Dallas in 3, Stu?
Well, he's outscored the Raptors here in the second half by 6. He's got 57 and counting. There's about 9 minutes left to play.
I'm Bill McDonald. Joel Myers will be back on Friday, filling in tonight. Stu alongside. Oh, Kobe counted foul. He'll go to the line, try to complete a 3-point play. Kobe's got 59, can make it 6-0 with the free throw.
He splits this double team as they come out, and then as he goes up, he gets pushed from behind by Bosch. Almost knocks him down, but he concentrates on the shot, gets the basket. He's looking for point number 60. And this is it.
He's missed 2 free throws tonight.
He's got to be a little tired. He's been out there and carrying the entire offensive load. Shoulders have to be strong to do that.
Kobe's played 33 minutes despite the offensive load on his shoulders. Here is Jalen Rose throwing it up, not going to get it. Oh, how lucky can you be? Who tipped it?
Well, they're going to give it to Bonner.
Yeah, might have been one of the Lakers, though.
Devin George and Lamar were there, and they, I don't know, tried to like maybe tip it to each other, and Bonner sneaks in and slaps at it and tips it in the basket.
Easiest 2 Matt's ever got. Here is Kobe again. Why not for 3? No good. James, you still have to look to get others involved, no matter how remarkable it is. 97-90 in the corner. But Toronto, as hot as they were, is completely gone cold here in the second half.
What so often happens with bigs, especially, shot taken from the perimeter. They turn, they look at the guy shooting, and they fail to feel where their man is and put a body on him. And all of a sudden, he sneaks around and gets inside position. That's what happened to Kwame on that play, and he got called for the foul.
His 3rd foul, 13th foul. You saw the numbers, just 31% this half from the field. Here's Rose, had a notion out to James. Good dribble to get open. Jalen's going to go to the basket. He has blocked by Odom, and a foul called on the outside. Lamar.
And Devin George is going to get whistled.
Oh, is it going to be Devin?
Yeah.
Okay. Either or.
Good recovery by Devin after Jalen decided to take him off the dribble. From behind, Devin says, I got you, and hit him right on the wrist. A good call by the official. Devin doesn't like it, but sometimes you have to tell the officials, you caught me.
Got a little flesh, too, from the front. So Jalen hits the free throw. The career of Jalen Rose as Sasha comes on. Played
for who?
A little bit in the first.
Oh, for Devin.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Lakers go with that 3-guard lineup, which isn't that bad. It increases their foot speed a little bit. It makes them able to switch certain players.
Jalen, who played at Denver, Indy, Chicago, been the subject of some trade talk a little bit around the NBA, now has 13. And Toronto hanging in 97-92. Remember, they led by as many as 18. Kobe doubled. There we go. Bosch and Jalen Rose, and they force a turnover. Into the front court, Rose. Lob underneath. Tough play for Mo Pete. Gets it right back to Rose. Jalen trying to move on. Smush, and it's a block out.
Well, the first part of that foul was a block. The second part of that play was a push by Jalen Rose as he took his left arm and just put Smush to the floor. Free throws coming again, so the 5-point lead is going to be down to 3.
Stu, what have you liked about Jalen Rose's game over his dozen years in the NBA?
Well, you know, Jalen as a typical left-hander, you know, they're different. They're a little different to defend because they are left-handers. He's smooth, but you know, he's the player that has to have the ball in his hands in order to really be effective. Some players can play without it, come and catch, shoot. I think Jalen is much better with the ball in his hands.
And by the way, if you're wondering about how his attitude has been in Toronto, it's been marvelous. He has bought into whatever Sam Mitchell has wanted him to do. Coming off the bench was not a problem. but he's been inserted into the lineup. And most importantly, he needs a free throw, and he knocks it down. 97-93, still 7:25 remaining.
But you can see how the Laker offense is really stagnated now. Kobe has missed his last couple of shots, and nobody else is picking up anything. So now they need to jumpstart some of the other players.
With Walton's in the game, Kobe's a 3 away from tying his career high. He's got 7 on the shot clock. Open man Lamar, straight away 3. Yes, sir.
Well, and that's a good time to get started. Makes his first basket of the night. He's got 8 points, and it happens to be a triple.